titled Loneliness and its Effect on Health and How to Prevent It. So this October is the Mental Health Awareness Month. So this is why I chose this topic in order for us to know what are the effects of loneliness not only to our physical health but also on our mental health, and how can we prevent this state of loneliness. To start, I would like you to answer this short quiz. This is the loneliness quiz. And I will also be putting the link on the description box, as well as to send this link to your advisors so that you won't have a hard time finding the quiz. So just a disclaimer, this loneliness quiz is not a diagnostic tool. So definitely, if ever that the results of this quiz will bother you, or you feel like baka meron kayong mental health condition agad, it is advised that you should seek professional help. Seek help from a psychologist, your psychiatrist, or your guidance counselor if ever that the result of this quiz will bother you, or you might think that you are experiencing a mental health condition. So please do answer this loneliness quiz so that we will have an idea kung kayo ba ay malungkot sa mga panahon ngayon o may mga pinagdadaanan ba sa panahon ngayon. So to start our discussion, let us first know what is the meaning of loneliness. Loneliness is a universal human emotion that is both complex and unique to each individual. Ibig sabihin, iba-iba tayo ng definition or description, or iba-iba tayo ng pananaw when it comes to loneliness. Pwedeng ang situation mo, you will consider that you are lonely, but other people, kung sila ang nasa ganoong sitwasyon, parang hindi naman nila kinoconsider ang sarili nila na malungkot, na mag-isa. So it is a normal thing to them. Also, in loneliness, this is a state of mind. And it causes people to feel empty, alone, and unwanted. So people who are lonely often crave human contact, but their state of mind makes it more difficult to form connections with other people. So when you are in that state of loneliness, feeling mo ay mag-isa ka, feeling mo ay may nasa isang malalim ka na balon na walang ibang laman kundi ikaw lang. You feel like other people do not like you, do not want to talk to you, other people will not understand you. And in loneliness, gusto mo namang makipag-communicate with them. You want to try communicating with other people, talking to other people, telling them what you are feeling right now. But the problem is, your state of mind is hindering you from doing so. So yung utak mo mismo ang nagkakaroon ng mga negative thoughts, that is why hindi mo magawa makipag-communicate o makipag-usap sa ibang mga tao. That is why you tend to isolate yourself from other people. Another thing is that researchers suggest that loneliness is associated with social isolation. Ito nga yung sinasabi ko kanina, you are isolating yourself from other people. Also, poor social skills, because you are isolating yourself, mahihirapan ka or nahihirapan kang mag-communicate with other people. Introversion and also depression. According to many experts, loneliness is not necessarily about being alone. So hindi dahil ikaw ay alone, ay lonely ka na din. So later I will be discussing the difference between being alone and being lonely. So instead, if you feel alone and isolated, then that is how loneliness plays into your state of mind. Again, you are alone and you are isolating yourself, definitely ito po ay papasok sa loneliness. Now, this is what I'm talking about. What is the difference between being alone and lonely? So baka naguguluhan ang mga tao. When you are alone, this is the state without being lonely, and it leads to self-awareness. So kinikilala mo ang sarili mo, you see what are the things that you would like to improve, the things that you should affirm about yourself. So ito yung time na mag-isa ka, but you focus more on yourself. Whereas loneliness is marked by a sense of isolation. Mag-isa ka because You are pulling yourself away from other people, away from a group, away from the people's eyes. Then alone as calm, it's being somewhere with nothing other than your own thoughts, while loneliness is being lonely that is dull, constant feeling that follows you around all day long. Alone is listening to the things you have to say to yourself. So, ito yung mga oras na kinakausap mo ang sarili mo. You will realize what are the things that you would like to do to improve, to affirm yourself. Ano ba yung mga kailangan mong ayusin? But in loneliness, it makes you wonder why. Bakit? Why is this happening to you? Bakit hindi nila ako magustuhan? Bakit parang kulang ang ginagawa ko at hindi nila ako napapansin? Bakit laging kasalanan ko? Bakit hindi ako magustuhan ng mga tao sa paligid ko? So, in being alone, pinakikinggan mo ang sarili mo. Pinakikinggan mo kung ano yung mga dapat mong marinig about yourself. You try to affirm yourself. You try to realize what are the things that you need to do. But in loneliness, there's always that question of why. Why are you lacking on something? Why can't you not do this kind of thing? And alone, or being alone, this is about taking a break and freeing oneself from the world, while loneliness is a feeling that consumes you. Alone is a positive state of engagement with yourself, while loneliness makes you yearn for other people's company. So hopefully, mas naging malinaw sa atin, ano ba ang difference of being alone and being lonely? Not necessarily that you are alone and ikaw ay lonely na agad. Hindi ibig sabihin na mag-isa ka, ikaw ay malungkot na agad. So there are times that you want to be alone because you try to, or you want to try to focus on yourself, to evaluate and reflect on what are the things that you need to do that could lead you to self-awareness. Now, what are the possible causes of loneliness? So ito po iyon. It is about physical isolation. Probably you have financial problems in the family, or a death of a loved one, a family member, a friend. Poor physical and mental health. You have a low self-esteem. You don't have that confidence in you to talk to others, to tell what's on your mind. You lack of close confidence. You think that other people won't understand you. You think that other people are not worthy of your trust. Next is change in living situation or your living condition. Probably you transferred from this area to another province, o kaya naman you changed schools. That is why there is a feeling of loneliness. And also some psychological disorders can also be the cause of loneliness. So let us dig deeper on what does loneliness feel like. Ano ba ang pakiramdam ng pagiging malungkot or pagiging lonely? So this is the feelings of sadness, emptiness, discomfort, and disconnectedness. So kanina I mentioned, when you are lonely, you feel empty, you feel alone, and you feel unwanted. So katulad din ito, there's that emptiness, there's that discomfort, and you feel like you cannot relate with other people. Next is the feelings of being left out or isolated from others, a longing for companionship, feeling like you are misunderstood or not heard, feeling mo walang makikinig sa'yo, walang makakaintindi sa nararamdaman mo. Feeling isolated even when you're surrounded by others. Maraming tao sa paligid mo, you have friends, but still, andun ka pa rin sa state of loneliness. Kahit nagaano ka dami mga tao na sumusubaybay, kasama mo, mga kaibigan mo, nararamdaman mo pa rin yung feelings of emptiness. Also, it is about feeling exhausted or burnt out by social interactions, feeling insecure, ruminating and reminiscing on the past, decreased energy, insomnia, trouble sleeping, trouble falling asleep, or sleeping more than usual, and feelings of worthlessness and withdrawal from social events. So these are the things that people who are in that state of loneliness might feel like. So according to Mental Health Foundation, the stigma of loneliness makes it hard for people to talk about it. This is because people worry about being judged or feeling like a burden. This is like the stigma on mental health. So kaparehas ng stigma and all of the stigmas that is existing nowadays. Because of that stigma, it makes it hard for people to tell others what are they feeling. Malungkot ka ba? Masaya ka ba? May pinagdadaanan ka ba? May problema ka ba? Galit ka ba? And so on. It is hard for people to tell these kinds of feelings or emotions to others kasi feeling nila they will be judged. The other people will belittle their feelings, belittle their situation. Tingin nila ay feeling nila ang pakiramdam ng ibang tao ay isa silang pabigat. That is why it's hard for them to talk about these kinds of feelings, to talk about loneliness, to talk about their current situation. Kasi yun ang nagiging problema. Nagiging iba ang interpretation ng ibang tao na instead of listening, instead of trying to understand bakit kaya ito pinagdadaanan ng tao na ito, we tend to judge them. We tend to say na ako nga ay malungkot din, so bakit ikaw mas mabigat ang problema ko, bakit ikaw masyado mong dinidibdib yan. That is why those people who are feeling lonely, hindi nila masabi ito. Those people who have mental health concerns, hindi nila ito masabi sa iba. That is why it's really important to end the stigma on mental health, the stigma on loneliness, the stigma on depression, the stigma on anxiety, and other stigmas existing nowadays. So that people can start talking about it. People can start telling their stories. Other people can learn from their stories, and we could help each other para itong mga ganitong klaseng concerns ay maagapan ng maaga in order for us to prevent from these things happening or to prevent these things from happening to us and to our family members. So long-term loneliness can impact definitely. If you feel lonely and all of the things that I mentioned a while ago, ito yung nararamdaman mo. It will definitely impact your mental and physical health. And of course, magiging problema din dito kasi it could develop into a mental health disorder kung hindi siya maaagapan. Now, these are some things that we could do in order for us to prevent and cope up with loneliness because definitely hindi tayo matatapos with this loneliness. Darating at darating yung time na malulungkot tayo, we will feel empty, we will feel alone, we will isolate ourselves. But there are things that we could do to prevent it. Una po is you must acknowledge what you are feeling right now. If you are sad, if you are lonely, if you are angry, if you do not want to talk to other people, if you think that other people do not understand you, if you think na itong problema mo ay sobrang bigat, acknowledge what you are feeling right now. Kasi the more you deny it, the more that it will build up, and the more that you will feel that loneliness that could lead into mental health concerns, other mental health concerns. So it is also good that you make time for your family and friends, talk to them, bond with them. They could also help you. They are the people that I think that could help you as you journey along the things that you are experiencing right now. If you are lonely, so it's better to talk to them, to tell them what you are feeling right now, kasi baka sila yung makakatulong ng mga tao sa'yo. And hopefully, for the families and friends, we should also practice your listening skills. You should also practice your listening skills, and huwag nating hayaan na ma-feel ng mga tao na nag-open up sa atin na they will just be judged or be a burden for us. It's really important that you listen to them and you try to understand their feelings. Kasi ito yung nagiging kulang with those people on the state of loneliness. Kasi feeling nila, nagiging pabigat sila. That is why they are afraid to talk about it. Next, if you have hobbies, if you have things that you would like to do, sports that you would like to try, then it's good that you do it kasi nakakabawas din ito dun sa mga alone time mo. Wherein in that alone time, especially if you're in that state of loneliness, nagkukulong ka lang sa isang kwarto to think of all the whys. Kung ikaw ay may hobbies na divert yung attention mo from it. It's also good to get moving. If you want, you can go out, you could travel, you could visit other places, so that again, wag nating ikulong ang sarili natin at mag-isip ng lahat ng bakit. Bakit hindi ako magaling, hindi ako matalino, hindi ako mahal ng mga tao sa paligid ko, hindi ako katanggap-tanggap, and so on. So it's good that we could see other people na kakalanghap tayo ng malinis na hangin, or we could just, we could just think of it as something na pwede tayong mag-distress when we get moving and travel and go to other places. Also, being creative could help in preventing and coping up with loneliness, kasi some people, they could not really tell others ano yung nararamdaman nila. So if we could do it in a form of art, in paintings, in song composition, in drawings, and sculptures, so at least nababawasan yung mga iniisip natin na mga whys na yan, na mga feelings of loneliness and emptiness na yan, through the art that we are making. Next is to practice gratitude and acts of kindness. Always be kind to other people, because you will never know if they're also experiencing the same loneliness that you might be experiencing, the same state that you are with or in right now. So let us all be kind to other people. Again, it's important to not discriminate others. It's important to try to understand, not necessarily na gagawin mo yung ginagawa ng iba, but it's more of understanding and respecting other people and treating them kindly. Kasi lahat tayo may pinagdadaanan, and if we only see ourselves at hindi natin tinitignan ang posibleng pinagdadaanan ng iba, it could be very selfish for us na ayun lang, sarili lang natin ang ating iniisip. So always practice gratitude and always be kind to other people, because your kindness might help them to go out in that state of loneliness or in that state of their mental health condition na pinagdadaanan. Then, of course, if everything will not work, everything kulang pa rin talaga, ginawa mo na lahat ng ito, it's really better, and I advise you to seek professional help. Talk to your psychologist, to your psychiatrist, to your guidance counselors. Talk to them and tell them what you are feeling right now, because they also have different ways on how they could help you cope up with this loneliness and with other mental health concerns. So it's better to seek help from them. So everyone encounters loneliness at some point in their lives, but you should consider professional help if, especially in this topic that we are talking about, loneliness, kapag ang feelings of loneliness mo extends beyond occasional moments and linger for 2 weeks to as long as 2 months, or probably because of the pandemic, 2 years na ba siya, please do seek professional help. Your feelings wade into depression, hopelessness, and despair, seek professional help. Your feelings of loneliness affect your daily life, such as your productivity, your performance at school, or even at work. Seek professional help. And if all of the things mentioned, ito yung nararamdaman mo ngayon, please do find someone that could really help you. Find a professional that could help you with all of the things that you're experiencing right now. Hindi po nakakahiya na humingi ng tulong sa ating mga professionals, the psychologists, psychiatrists, or the guidance counselors. It would help you. As you go along the way, you will realize na sana pala mas maaga akong nag-seek ng help para naayos ko itong concern na ito. Now, I would like you to watch this short video clip. This is about loneliness, of course, and how can we deal with it. So hopefully you will learn through this video, and please watch this carefully.
Hey Psych2Goers, welcome back to our channel. We wanted to let you know that we value each and every one of you. All of your support helps us make psychology and mental health more accessible to everyone. So thank you for all of the love and support. Now, back to the video. How often do you feel lonely? While it's common for all of us to experience loneliness every now and then, what do we do if the feeling persists more than we're used to? If not dealt with properly, loneliness can grow into something harmful to our mental health. Now, if you believe you're suffering from excessive or chronic loneliness, a good plan might be to seek out help through a counselor or mental health professional. It's a great first step and gives you a chance to talk with someone about your feelings that you're experiencing. While a lot of us can feel lonely when isolated for too long, loneliness isn't reliant on being alone. Loneliness, like all of our emotions, is a state of mind. Research demonstrates that loneliness does not reflect how many friends or family members you have by your side. Instead, it's how connected you feel internally. You can be surrounded by family or friends, and yet your feelings of loneliness still somehow manage to persist. So, what can we do about it? Well, you're in luck, because here at Psych2Go, we've gathered a list of 4 tips to help you deal with loneliness. Number 1, become friends with yourself first. Self-care is something that is extremely important for our mental health. The truth is, we may feel lonely because deep down, we long for our own friendship. When's the last time you were kind to yourself? Took a minute to relax and wind down, just for you. And I don't mean passing out after a long night of working. I mean conscious time dedicated to yourself and your thoughts. Thoughts all on you, not work, not drama, just relaxation. This could mean a relaxing bubble bath instead of a quick shower. Some time spent doing an activity or a hobby that you enjoy, or perhaps sitting down with your favorite book. When loneliness comes knocking on the door, it's a good idea to look inwards and spend some time with the friend within ourselves. They may be the one to help us calm ourselves and relieve some stress. That is, if we do spend time with them. Once we've made friends with ourselves, we might not feel as lonely around others or on our own because you always know you got your back. Number 2, show compassion. Oftentimes, when we're lonely, we may wish that someone could simply be there for us, someone to understand us and show us some compassion. Well, a little compassion can go a long way. Don't you feel a little cheerier when someone gives you a compliment? When someone does a favor for you, don't you feel a little more valued and less alone? Wouldn't you want to bring that compassion to others as well and spread love? Because not only does carrying out kind acts for others help them feel cheery, but it can make us feel cheery as well, and less lonely in the process. After all, we're engaging in a form of social interaction. Compassion can be a step towards making a new friend, or simply feeling less lonely knowing you may have made someone's day. According to research from psychologists Ed Diener and Martin Seligman, altruism can lead to improved mental and physical health, as well as speed up recovery from diseases. Brain imaging research from Naomi Eisenberger at UCLA has found that providing support for others may have unique positive effects on key brain areas involved in stress and reward responses. The research shows that a little compassion and support can predict decreased stress responses in the brain. So next time you're feeling lonely, perhaps reach out to a family member or old friend who could use some support. Donate to a charity or volunteer with an organization you care about. Maybe a mental health organization on loneliness. I'm sure they'd love the support as much as you. Number 3, find your tribe. As mentioned, you don't need to be physically alone to feel lonely. You could be at a loud, seemingly fun party with others and still you can't help but shake the feeling. Perhaps you do have friends or classmates you regularly talk to, and you do get along with them, but you don't necessarily have a lot in common with them. You may even find yourself disinterested in the topics they discuss, but politely nod along because, hey, they're your friends after all, and you care about them. But sometimes you feel like the odd one out. This may be due to the idea that you haven't found your tribe yet. Tribe? What on earth do you mean? Well, looking for your tribe means you're looking for people who share common interests and ideas with you or possess traits you aspire to adapt. We should all surround ourselves with others who share the same interests so we can not only discuss what we value, but gain a friend in doing so. It can take some people many years to find their tribe. They don't appear out of thin air. That's why joining an online community with interests similar to your own is an easy place to start. If you enjoy a certain video game, reach out to online players and make some friends. Or perhaps you're a book lover. Join a book club online or in person. You may find yourself with your very own tribe in no time. Number 4, there is no perfect friend. If you're lonely, you may have daydreamed about what it would be like to be perfectly socialized. Imagining yourself with an ideal group of friends and your best friend, the perfect friend. Hate to burst your bubble, but there's no such thing as perfect. Meaning your imaginary friend isn't all you'd hoped they'd be. Theory and research suggest that those with a high level of perfectionism are more at risk for depressive symptoms and suicide ideation because their feelings of alienation, isolation, and loneliness are all the more intense. Thing is, perfectionism in socializing may even prevent some from socializing at all because when they do look for the perfect friend, they can't seem to find them anywhere. Philosopher and author of A Philosophy of Loneliness, Lars Svensson, argues that people with chronic loneliness may likely be social perfectionists. Svensson explains that social perfectionism is more common among lonely individuals than non lonely. The lonely person thinks that they're unloved and that no one will befriend them. But perhaps the problem is rather that because they place such impossible demands on friendship and love, they are not capable of loving or befriending someone. Now, are you capable of befriending someone? Absolutely. Don't let a little perfectionism get in the way of making a new friend. People have flaws, and not every social interaction is meant to be amazing. It can be awkward at times, or even silly. Once we're content with knowing friendships can be messy, awkward, and silly at times, we can then feel a little more relaxed when it comes to making a new friend. If you think your perfectionism is getting in the way of finding a friend, know that someone is out there for you. But they won't be perfect. And flaws and all, you'll still love each other and may even be a little less lonely. There's someone out there for you. You just have to keep looking. So, will you try out any of these tips? What on
So hopefully through that video, you learned something, especially on how to deal with loneliness. And before I end, I would like to leave this short quote by Desmond Tutu. According to him, hope is being able to see that there is light despite all of the darkness. If you are in that state of loneliness right now, if you feel that emptiness with aloneness, and you are feeling unwanted by other people, that is why you're isolating yourselves from them. Please do remember that you could go out of that darkness because there are people that would like to talk to you, that would like to help you, that would like to make you realize that you are not alone in this, or you are not alone in that journey. So please you try to seek help, try to tell others what you are feeling right now, and definitely I know there are people that will understand you and will help you go out that darkness, or go see the light despite of all the darkness. So with that, these are my references. I hope that you learned something today. So all the links, the loneliness quiz, also the link of the evaluation form for this session will be put in the description box and will be sent to your advisors. And I would also like to encourage everyone to join our mental health awareness activity for the month of October. This is in collaboration of the Student Development Office and the School Clinic. So please do participate. The link of the mechanics of the activity will also be put in the description box. So please do join and raise awareness on mental health, because mental health is something that we should also prioritize. So with that, thank you everyone. Remember that your mental health matters and you are not alone in this journey. So we are all here to help you, and we should also be kind to other people and help others in their own situation. So with that, thank you everyone and have a great day ahead.